Hello and welcome to Rise and Unwind. And on this week's show, I got to visit Eddington, New Mexico. Yeah, it's not a real place, but got to hang out with Ari Aster to talk about it.
I'm from New Mexico.
Yes.
I grew up here, so I wanted to make a film in New Mexico. I've wanted to for a long time.
We are in states around the country. We are coast to coast. We are in some sheriff's departments. We are in some really small departments. And having Las Vegas in that mix now.
Symptoms can include things like runny nose, sneezing, dry cough, headache, or fever.
There's a little bit of curvature to the cornea of the eyeball, and it causes some blurred vision, a little bit of distortion, and we can easily correct for that with glasses and contacts.
All of that and more right here on Rise and Unwind. All right, I'm here with Ari Aster, director and writer of the new movie Eddington, and I'm just gonna have to tell you that I hate you. And the reason why is you put me through so much stress today watching that movie. I loved this film.
Oh, good.
It's hard to start an interview by saying I hate you and I also love the film all in the same statement.
No, that's
like,
good.
You set this during a really tough time in history. During COVID-19, you have a sheriff kind of struggling through a lot of personal issues while dealing with, I guess, professional issues.
Yeah, among other issues, yeah.
And it's all set in a small New Mexico town. What brought you to, focus all of that energy in a really interesting time in a small town, which shouldn't have really that big of an impact on the world, but in this movie, massive impact. What kind of put you there?
Well, I'm from New Mexico.
Yes.
I grew up here, so I wanted to make a film in New Mexico. I've wanted to for a long time. And in late spring, early summer 2020, I was here in New Mexico, and I just wanted to make a film about the environment. And I don't mean the environment in New Mexico, but rather what was happening in the country, what was happening all over the world, but just basically make a film about a bunch of people who are living on the internet and who are living in different realities. And then make a film about, what happens when these people who are not reachable to each other and they're living in separate realities, what happens when they start bumping up against each other? And what's the logic that comes out of that, right? Pushing them deeper into their paranoia and convictions, and how that, it leads to violence because there's nothing in the ether that's holding them together anymore.
I had noticed in this movie, it's probably the greatest usage of phones I've ever seen in my entire history of watching movies. It was really natural. What was your decision in doing it that way on this film?
Well, on set we were calling it "Screens the Movie," right? And so yeah, I'm glad you felt that it felt natural.
Yeah.
At the same time, I wanted them to be so pervasive that they almost became nauseating. To almost have them be to have them over time become kind of overwhelming.
Yeah.
And so. Yeah, it's and just to foreground all of that, because I think we're living in a really weird time, and it's easy to forget that because again, all these things are so pervasive that they become ambient, and things that are obvious kind of become less so when they're ambient, right? It becomes banal. But the way that we're living on these phones, and then what's coming with AI, already that's been kind of normalized, but it's weird. It's weird.
I totally agree with you. I like how you used it, and it was such a natural usage of the technology in it.
We need to free each other's hearts.
Your movies do have a lot of themes about generational trauma, and I've noticed that. Is there a reason, or do you have a feeling that you have to highlight some of this generational trauma in some of these films, or why it's important for you to kind of cover some of these themes in movies?
It's not it's not so conscious as all of that. I don't know. We've all got trauma.
We do.
Yeah, that's pretty much all there is, you know.
It gives every character one heck of a backstory, or at least history to their story. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No, and I think this film in particular is about a bunch of people who have their own histories, and they also turn to history to shore up their beliefs, whatever they are. Some of them are directly oppositional, and it's about people who are kind of lost in themselves, and they're living in their heads, and so yeah, it's I more than any other film I've made, I want this to sort of function as like a landscape, you know, where it's Joaquin Phoenix is, his character, Sheriff Joe Cross, he's the main character, but I want I wanted to pull back as far as I could and give as broad a picture of the political, ideological landscape as possible. And also, to also have it be very rooted in New Mexico. It's sort of, this town, Eddington, sort of functions as a microcosm for the rest of the country, but it also sort of functions as a microcosm for the politics of New Mexico as well. Yeah. Anyway.
Well, I want to thank you for making this movie. It was an incredible film. I absolutely loved it. I was stressed out from beginning to end. I'm a huge fan of Twin Peaks, so it kind of reminded me of, like, you are? I go out to Twin Peaks up to North Bend twice a year to go visit some of their events, so it just put me into, like, the New Mexico version of that, following the Sheriff's Department. Absolutely loved it, so I really want to thank you for all your work.
Thank you.
So there it is. Ari Aster, thanks for joining me this morning.
Thanks for having me.
Ever feel like summer turns your routine completely upside down between the heat, the snacks, and the spontaneous beach days? Wellness goals can take a back seat fast. Luckily, we got somebody who knows how to keep things cool and healthy. Lizzie Mathis, a lifestyle expert, mom of 3, and a creator of the Cool Mom Code podcast. She's teaming up with CVS to share her favorite ways to keep your family feeling good all summer long without making it stressful. So let's welcome her to the show and see if she can help us out. Welcome, Lizzie. How are you, my friend?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. I guess summer, it tends to like throw everyone's routine a little bit off. What are some of the biggest wellness challenges families tend to face this time of year?
Well, I think you just nailed it, right? I mean, it's throwing that routine off. And so with summer camps all over the place, sometimes kids in multiple camps at one time, these pop-up barbecues, the pool days, beach days, all those things that come up during the summer, our schedules are very, very different than what they are throughout most of the year. And so it's hard to keep up with those health and wellness goals.
So what do you personally do to keep your family feeling their best when things tend to get busy or like chaotic?
First of all, I lower expectations for myself. Let me tell you, I don't try and put too much on my plate. I try and keep it really relaxed during the summer as much as I possibly can. But also I try and prep myself and make sure that I add in a couple of health and wellness tips and goals that I can do throughout the day. One of those being, I love to keep water bottles next to my front door. So when we go out that front door, we grab those water bottles and we keep that hydration up throughout the day. And I also love adding one nutrient-dense meal at least throughout the day. So packed with proteins and veggies, something that I know I can rely on that's getting some really good stuff into my family. And then also having snacks on hand, but not just any snacks, having those really nutrient snacks on hand that you feel good about in your car, in your bag, wherever you can have them. So you have things accessible to you and you're not frantically trying to go out and stop and grab food elsewhere. It's really important to keep those things near you.
So are there any easy ways parents could save money and also stay healthy during the summer?
Yes, there are plenty. I've teamed up with CVS this summer, and I'm so proud to have done so because They have tons of deals, during the summer and really all year round. But during the summer, we're using so many products for summer care and just making sure that we're protecting ourselves from the sun. We're also eating a ton of snacks because the kids are most likely home and they're hungry and they're on their go with you. And so snacks are going to be super important. And CVS really has doubled down on both of those things, right? And their Well Market line is full of over 200 varieties of really nutritious snacks. I have some of my favorites here. And they also have some really great products in the CVS Health line, such as this SPF, which is waterproof up to 80 minutes. So you're going to be reapplying not as often, right? And even this 2-in-1 After Sun Recovery Gel, which helps that really sun kind of skin that's been out in the sun for hours and hours. But having those things around make it really accessible. And CVS has really done a really great job of making those products accessible to all of us.
And I know a lot of people are turning to those store brands for, how is CVS kind of stepping up in terms of health and wellness products for those?
Yeah, I really love it because brands are listening to what we as families, parents, what we really want. And we want those health and wellness options available to us. We don't want to have to search for them all the time. And so CVS has done a really great job with that, about making it accessible. Also, they have these summer deals that have weekly deals that sometimes you can find things under $5. So when you find those sort of things, stock up. They've done a really great job of making a lot of products that you feel really good about available to you.
All right. And for people watching who want to grab some of these essentials, where can they find more information?
Of course, always check out cvs.com/summer. And you can also check out the CVS app. They always have some online deals ready for you.
Lizzie Mathis, thanks for joining me this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
Do you ever feel like your eyes just aren't keeping up with you anymore? 1 minute, it's blurry distance. The next, you're squinting at your phone, and suddenly you've got reading glasses stashed in pretty much every room of the house. Well, there's a breakthrough that could simplify life for millions of people. Dr. Keely Brown is an optometrist and vision expert to talk about a first-of-its-kind contact lens designed to help people living with both astigmatism and age-related vision loss. Welcome to the show, Keely. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to talk about these two new innovative products that are going to change so many lives. It's really great.
A lot of people hear the word astigmatism, but I don't fully understand what it means. Can you break it down for us?
Yeah, so astigmatism is actually fairly common. It happens to about 50% of patients. It's when the eye isn't perfectly round like a basketball, shaped a little bit more like a football. There's a little bit of curvature to the cornea of the eyeball, and it causes some blurred vision, a little bit of distortion, and we can easily correct for that with glasses and contacts. And then as we age, a second thing occurs. It's called presbyopia. It's where our near vision starts to get a little bit blurry. Our arms just aren't long enough anymore. We're getting blurred vision up close, having a hard time seeing the menu, or maybe having to zoom in on our telephones and our computer screens. So, now we might have been grabbing for the readers, but now we have two great solutions for both of these problems.
As people are starting to get older, vision usually kind of shifts too. What's going on when someone hits their, let's say, 40s and suddenly needs some reading glasses? I'm not talking from personal experience. Okay, I'm talking from personal experience.
Yes. So after 40, our near vision starts to decline. So you might need a little bit of a reader for some help to see up close, a little magnification. But now we have a contact lens that can help with that. So we have multifocal contact lenses. We have the AccuView Max multifocal for astigmatism. So it helps those patients that have astigmatism and presbyopia, so needing a little bit of help to correct their astigmatism and their vision for up close. So this is amazing because before we didn't have an option in a daily disposable contact lens. So you put it in the morning, throw it away at night. Super simple, super easy, nice and safe and healthy for your eyes. It's a great option. I love daily disposable lenses. I use them every day in my practice. It's really been a game changer for so many patients that are reliable on a reader, having to layer different solutions previously. Like maybe they're using contacts for distance, but need a reader for up close, or in the progressive lenses, which gets annoying if you're doing things like lots of exercising or hobbies or outside sweating, doing pickleball or gardening or whatever it might be, and your glasses are getting in the way, now you have some solutions that you can use a contact lens for.
And what do you feel like makes it different from some of the other options that are available before?
So there's a lot of technology in this lens, which I really love. It's really well thought out. There's a blue light filter in it, which helps decrease halos, glare, and scatter. That's really amazing to help just crispen up the vision. And it also really supports end-of-day comfort. So you don't feel like you have a contact lens in your eyes. You can wear them all day long and have good, clear, crisp vision at all distances all day long. It has a really, really great technology in it. And I have seen so many successful cases with this contact lens.
And what does this mean for people that are trying to manage both astigmatism and presbyopia? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Could it really replace juggling multiple vision tools?
Exactly. Yeah, that's part of the whole point, is that we have a contact lens that they can wear where they don't have to necessarily rely on glasses, on the progressives, on putting on readers, keeping up with the readers, finding where the readers are at. They're able to do everything normal in their lives without being dependent on readers or glasses. So this is a really, really great solution, first of its kind, in a daily disposable with all of these great technologies. Really awesome for these patients. I have been waiting forever in my practice to have this. I literally had a waiting list for patients that would benefit from this lens. So it's been revolutionary and really impactful for lots of patients. They've been waiting for this type of technology for a while. Some of these patients that have astigmatism and they're over 40, they know that they're in this category and they've been seeking out this kind of technology and waiting for it to help them in their lives.
All right, Dr. Keeley, if somebody wants to learn more or see if it's right for them, where should they go?
Yeah, so they can go to acuvue.com/max. That's ACUVUE, acuvue.com/max.
Thanks for joining me this morning.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure.
When it comes to getting older, we hear a lot about keeping our bodies active, but what about our brains? Dr. Isabelle Souffrant is the Chief Medical Officer at Conviva Senior Primary Care, and she's also a caregiver of her own parents. She also brings both medical expertise and real-life experience to the table. She's joining us now to share all that we could do right now to protect our brain health. Welcome to the show, Dr. Souffrant. How are you?
Good, thank you.
All right, let's start with the big one. Why is brain health such an important focus as we age?
Cognitive health is just as important as our physical health. It impacts our ability to make decisions. It impairs our memory, right? So imagine if anything is affecting our ability to make decisions and our memory, that can affect our ability to live independently. And there's about 7 million people right now living with Alzheimer's. I think this is something we better get proactive about.
And you've even shared your own story as a caregiver. How has that shaped how you talk about Alzheimer's and brain health with some of the other people?
Well, my parents both live with me. One has Alzheimer's and one has dementia. And I've come to realize that brain health it's just not clinical, right? This is so deeply human for me. And this has allowed me to get proactive, get involved earlier, make lifestyle changes, and really think about caregiver support. We need to treat our patients with these illnesses as a whole person and not just think of the disease, but treat the entirety of the person.
As someone who works really closely with other adults, what are a few of your go-to tips to help patients stay mentally sharp?
Well, staying active is key. Staying active allows us to stimulate our brain and avoid fatigue. And hopefully you'll avoid some brain atrophy. Getting active will also help with social isolation, which again helps with fatigue. Nutrition is so important. Just about every single chronic condition I can think of, we talk about nutrition and how nutrition can also, in this case, stimulate our brain. Playing stimulating games. And what do I mean by that? Playing chess, doing crossword puzzles, anything that can get our brain stimulated will help avoid fatigue and brain fog. It's a win-win.
And I hear there's a pretty cool program happening this summer that brings those tips pretty much to life. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah. As part of the 2025 National Senior Games, the Humana Cognitive Games is a virtual platform that challenges focusing on brain health. It's open to everyone and it's free. and it's open till August 11th. It's designed really to for brain fun, for a brain workout. And one can participate on humanagames.com to join and have some fun and take charge of one's own cognitive health.
And what is something that you wish more people could understand about how cognitive decline actually works?
Well, cognitive decline is normal as we age, but Alzheimer's is not. Alzheimer's is not a normal part of aging. It's irreversible, and it's a neurodegenerative disease, and it's progressive. And it's when people are affected with Alzheimer's, it can affect their behavior, their mood, as well as their physical well-being, which and then encompasses affecting the entire family. So there's some hope out there. With early intervention, brain healthy habits, and community support, we can make a real difference out there.
Any parting advice for folks watching who want to take a better care of their brain today?
Yeah, don't let caring for your brain be overwhelming. If you have any concerns, reach out to your doctor, get evaluated, and get tested. Find ways to stimulate your brain every day, and join humanagames.com.
One more time, where can we go for more information about this?
Yeah, of course, humanagames.com. Come and join.
Dr. Souffrant, thanks for joining me this morning.
Thank you for having me.
You've probably heard of RSV in babies, but did you know it could be dangerous for older adults too? July is Chronic Disease Awareness Month, and today we're digging into how RSV affects people 60 and up, especially those living with conditions like heart failure, COPD, or diabetes. We're joined by two experts who worked on the front lines of prevention, Dr. Candice Robinson from GSK and Dr. Samantha Picking from Walgreens. Welcome to the show, both of you. How are you?
Thank you for having us.
All right, let's start with the basics. What is RSV, and how does it actually spread?
Yeah, so RSV is respiratory syncytial virus, and it's a common, contagious, and potentially serious respiratory virus. Symptoms can include things like runny nose, sneezing, dry cough, headache, or fever. And RSV can spread easily when someone who is infected coughs or sneezes, or it's likely to be transmitted by touching a contaminated surface before touching the eyes, the nose, or the mouth. And, as Chronic Disease Awareness Month comes to a close, it's an especially great time to get informed about potential health risks, including how some chronic health conditions can put you at increased risk for severe RSV.
And I imagine there's still a lot of myths floating around. What are some of the common misconceptions people might have about RSV?
Yeah, it's a great question. I'd say one misconception is who's at risk for RSV. As we said, it's well known that RSV affects infants and young children, but the reality is anyone can contract RSV. And in fact, as you mentioned, adults 60 and older, especially those with underlying health conditions and risk factors, are at increased risk for severe RSV. Even while you may think you're doing everything you can to stay healthy, the truth is that the immune system naturally declines as we get older, which means our bodies have a harder time fighting off infections like RSV.
So why are older adults, especially those with chronic conditions, at higher risk for severe RSV complications?
Yes, the risk of severe RSV increases with age since the immune system typically weakens as we get older. And so also older adults with certain chronic health conditions, such as chronic heart disease, as you mentioned, COPD, complicated diabetes, or asthma, face a greater chance of falling severely ill from an RSV infection. And so really, if you're between the ages of 50 and 74 and are at increased risk for severe disease due to certain risk factors, or if you're 75 or older, it's important to know your risk for RSV and to speak with your healthcare provider or pharmacist about RSV and about vaccination.
So let's talk prevention. Why is it important for folks proactively check in with their pharmacist or doctor about RSV risks?
Yeah, well, we typically think of summer as a time to relax and enjoy spending more time outside. But this season often flies by. I know it has for me because people are busy staying active. The spread of RSV, though, will pick up as we enter fall and then peaks during winter months for most regions in the US. So that's why it's important for now, the next time you visit your local Walgreens, even if you're there just to stock up on summer supplies like sunscreen, take that opportunity to ask the pharmacist about your risk for severe RSV and about vaccination.
So what should people be asking their pharmacist about RSV protection?
Yeah, so consider your pharmacist that trusted community healthcare provider, and they're there to support you. So feel free to ask your pharmacist at Walgreens about ways to help protect yourself. The summer is a great time to do this. Like I said, if you're stopping by already to get any last minute shopping needs for those fun summer outings, walk-ins are encouraged. So you can talk to your pharmacist at any time if you're stopping by the store. But if you prefer to schedule an appointment, you can do that on walgreens.com or right in our app.
All right, one more time. Where can people go for more information about getting vaccinated and maybe reducing the risk?
Absolutely. In addition to having that conversation with your healthcare provider or pharmacist about prevention, you can also visit easyvax.com. That's EASYVAX.com to learn more about all vaccines available near you.
All right, thank you too for joining me this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you.
He's back with another season of real-time, high-stakes law enforcement action. It's On Patrol Live. It's become a must-watch, taking viewers across the country as officers patrol their communities, live and unfiltered. Host and executive producer Dan Abrams is here to talk about the new season and the latest additions to the show and what makes On Patrol Live stand out in the world of live TV. Dan, welcome to the show, my friend.
It is great to be with you.
All right, so the show has had a huge impact, giving people insight on kind of giving them an inside look at law enforcement in real time. What do you think has made On Patrol Live such a success?
I think it's the fact that we are a fly on the wall with police officers. You don't know what's going to happen next. The same way the officers don't know what's going to happen next. And the fact that we're in so many different departments, right? I mean, we're in a lot of the time 9 departments at once with multiple cameras, multiple officers, et cetera. I mean, this is quite an operation that we have here. And so I think that the uncertainty, the fact that you get to see what police officers do is what has led this show to be as successful as it is.
And this season, you're expanding to cover Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. How has it been adding such a high-profile department into the mix?
Yeah, we think it's really important. And it was, I think a really good development for this show, because what we try to do is we try to be in different kinds of departments and in different places, right? So, we don't want just all similar departments from one state, right? That wouldn't be as interesting. So we are in states around the country. We are coast to coast. We are in some sheriff's departments. We are in some really small departments. And having Las Vegas in that mix now as a really big department, a top 10 department in the country, helps add to that diversity in terms of the types of policing you'll see on the show.
Dan Abrams, I want to thank you for joining me. And I got to show all my love to Reels Channel. That's kind of where I started doing this whole TV producing and all that stuff. So big love to everybody over at Reels Channel too. So there you go, man. You can catch On Patrol Live every Friday and Saturday night from 9 p.m. to midnight Eastern on Reels. Don't miss the action as law enforcement officers take you inside their nightly patrols, live and in real time. For more info, visit reels.com. Dan, thanks for joining me, my friend.
Yeah, sure. My pleasure.
And that's it for Rise and Unwind. I want to thank you for tuning in and checking out the show. If you actually want to see the show on YouTube, follow us at Rise Unwind TV. Make sure you like, you comment, you share, all that other good stuff. Helps us too. And until next week, that was Rise and Unwind.